Morning. My name is Maddie. I'm a former Army intelligence officer, a prepper, and on staff for the Collapse Survivor app, the tool for preparedness education, news, training, and alerts of pending collapse disasters. There are several new books and warnings out in the news by leading AI experts warning that superintelligent AGI is going to lead not just to collapse disasters, but to the extermination of all humanity. However, currently, there really are no good ideas on how to prevent or protect against an AI takeover, since there are no regulations, controls, nor prohibitions whatsoever on huge AI companies. So today, I'm going to interview an expert who does have specific recommendations on how we can prevent AI from killing us, and if they do take over, how to survive. Let me give a brief introduction to Dr. Colonel Drew Miller. Dr. Miller is an Air Force Academy honor graduate. He received an academic scholarship to Harvard University, where he earned a master's degree and PhD. He served as an intelligence and plans and programs officer in the Air Force, retiring as a colonel. He served in various roles in the Department of Defense, and now he is the founder and CEO of Fortitude Ranch, the nation's largest survival community. Welcome to Collapse Survivor, Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Maddie. It's an honor to be here.
So what we're going to do today is first discuss AI and how much of a threat it may actually pose, followed by how to survive it should it ever elevate to that level, with a break for questions in between. And viewers are welcome to submit questions as well. So Colonel Miller, please begin.
Thank you. As we discussed, I want to kind of focus on some slides initially to help tell the story. And as you know, leading AI experts say that super intelligent AI, also known as artificial general intelligence, will very likely lead to the extermination of most of humans. That's what the experts are saying. And they're now saying that this could happen not in the distant future, but within 2 to 10 years. I believe they are correct. I've read the studies and the books, and I think they're actually underestimating the threat of bad people using less than super intelligent artificial intelligence now to design new deadly viruses, develop new weapons of mass destruction that could kill most of us. We may be able to stop this with bold and aggressive controls and measures to punish and destroy bad actors abusing AI, but if not, we have to start figuring out how we're going to survive when AI rules and we face repeated collapse disasters. So the authors of this AI 2027 study are among the leading AI experts, and they believe that as early as 2027, AI could be smarter than humans, escape any attempts we make to control it, and design and release a virus that could kill all humans. I'm going to rush through these slides fairly quickly. If you're watching the video later, you can pause to read them. This is another study. Anthony Aguirre is a co-founder and the executive director of the Future of Life Institute. He's a professor of the physics of information at the University of California, and he's a creator of a science and technology prediction platform. And he uses the term tool AI to distinguish between the more limited in both intelligence and scope, artificial intelligence that can only do specific tasks. He says that we can have tool AI and probably use it safely, but we must absolutely not pursue super intelligent artificial general intelligence, or it's a death sentence for humanity. I agree with him in general, though in my book, I caution that even tool AI could be used by bad actors to develop new weapons of mass destruction and kill most of us off. And this is another book, probably the best one, that's written by perhaps the two leading AI safety experts in the world. And I'm not sure there's anyone more knowledgeable about AI safety than these two. And they've been working on AI and trying to safely control it for over a decade. And their conclusion is that we don't have a snowball's chance in hell of controlling AI once it's smarter than we are. They give detailed rationale for this, and I find it very convincing. Again, you can pause the video to read the slide. You can buy the book. You can watch podcasts that are already out on this book. And their title says it all, and it's absolutely correct. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. I believe the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, who is doing all he can to stir up an AI arms race with China, calling for no regulations, no slowdown, full speed ahead on AGI and development will go down in history, if it's written in the future, as the worst piece of crap human to ever exist. He's become a huge billionaire with the run-up in Palantir stock price as he and other AI tech billionaires persuaded President Trump to have no AI regulations and focus on beating China with super intelligent AI. But unfortunately, we'll have no advantage over China if we develop AGI. All of us will be exterminated. My book, Preparing to Survive in the Age of Collapse, which will be out in January 2026, describes how we should be allying with China to control AI and ban AGI, not pursue an arms race that will profit CARP and Palantir for a few years and then lead to our extermination.
Why is he pursuing this if it's going to kill himself as well?
Well, CARP and a lot of the AI top executives, they've got their own really capable survival shelters to survive either an AI takeover or a new weapon of mass destruction developed by AI, or even a natural pandemic like H5N1 that the experts all say will either naturally or be bioengineered deliberately to cause a pandemic. So, I mean, Zuckerberg has a huge survival compound in Hawaii. Peter Thiel, the founder of Palantir, he's got dual citizenship and plans to fly to New Zealand to survive there. We've read about companies like OpenAGI staff have talked about, I don't know how much they've implemented. They're obviously trying to keep it confidential, their own survival facility. I know some leading AI execs that I've not read about in the papers, but I do know that they have survival facilities. I'm not going to mention them or where they are. That's a violation of their right to prepare. But the top AI execs are absolutely preparing for collapse disasters, having fancy survival facilities. And they may believe that they're going to be capable of hiding away with it. I think they're wrong. When super intelligent artificial AGI is built, it'll outsmart us. So no matter how brilliant you think you are, you're not going to get away. Even Musk with his plans to go to Mars. Well, AI, if he can get to Mars, guess what? AI can send a virus to Mars or attack them on Mars or anywhere else they go. So there's no escaping an AI takeover. A super intelligent artificial intelligence takes over, gets out of control, which it will. We were not going to be able to control it. I think it's a death sentence for all of humanity. So I don't think they'll get away with it. The probability of doom is an estimate of how likely it is that AI will exterminate humanity. The probability of doom estimates by AI experts go up to 100%, and it's largely the AI safety experts and the leading founders of AI, including Professor Hinton, one of the co-founders, the godfathers of AI, that are rating the probability of doom is very high. It's the AI company executives that are saying, oh no, it's low, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. Some experts who do rate it low at like 10%, they say they've rated it low because they're assuming that governments will eventually regulate and control artificial intelligence. But there's no prospect of that happening now, and no guarantee that even if all the countries pursue this, it would work. I believe it's extremely unlikely that this kind of effort will happen soon or with enough force behind it to stop bad actors. So the probability of doom probably is very near 100% at this time. This is the book that I wrote, and I talk about AI experts sounding these warnings, and they're understandably focused on the AGI threat. But I think what they're ignoring is the immediate threat we've got now of bad people, rogue nations, terrorist groups using existing artificial intelligence, tool AI, not super intelligent AI, to develop better weapons of mass destruction. That's the key point I make in this book. I'm confident that artificial intelligence will be used to design new viruses, to develop simpler ways to enrich uranium to make nuclear weapons. So AI is going to make all of the existing threats that we've got worse, and artificial intelligence is going to be used by bad people now, not in the future, but right now, to develop new weapons of mass destruction. And biologists have been already warning us for over a decade that bioengineering technology is inevitably going to be misused to design new viruses that will lead to horrible pandemics that could kill off most of us. The photo here is from an article I wrote in the American Interest, the top public policy journal, back in 2016. And even if AI is limited to just simpler, not super intelligent AI tools like medical research tools and studying viruses, you can be 100% sure that there will be evil use of this medical AI technology to develop new viruses. Our government already funded successful gain-of-function research to make the H5N1 virus, which is 60% lethal to humans in some variants, mammal to mammal transmissible, and then they let the results get published. So bad people or terrorists or Iran or North Korea are going to use AI to make even more deadly viruses to release against their enemies. And in some cases, they might do this after they've used AI to develop a vaccine or an antidote to protect themselves. I don't care how great our military technology is. People are biological entities, and we're extremely vulnerable to viruses and poisons. So we're vulnerable to bioweapons of mass destruction. We're vulnerable to AI, which is already being used in bioresearch labs now. It's a current threat, not a future threat. The only way to put strong controls on simple AI or tool AI and prevent completely bad super intelligent artificial general intelligence is to have a very strong international alliance that is willing to use strong military force attacks to destroy and thus deter bad people, bad companies, terrorist groups, or rogue nations from violating controls in AI and using it to create new weapons of mass destruction, or worse, super intelligent AGI that wipes out our entire species and possibly the planet. So the US and China must back such an AI control alliance, or as I explained in my book, that's the only way we can solve this problem. And this is only going to happen if our government backs AI control, which the Trump administration currently does not, stands up to the billionaire AI companies and their investors, and we've got to get China on board. China is not going to work with the US on any kind of an alliance like this unless we stop interfering in their internal affairs, which means the US needs to stay out of the Taiwan war. Taiwan's not an independent country. It's a breakaway province of China. It's part of their old civil war, and they're ready to go to war against the United States to get Taiwan back. We don't want to get them in a war like that we would lose. Not because our military isn't strong enough, but because we're not willing to do an exchange of nuclear weapons as China is to get Taiwan back. And this book, The Preparing to Survive in the Age of Collapse, goes through all that. But we're not going to get an alliance to control AI unless the US and China are on board, and they're not going to do it unless we stay out of the Taiwan affair, let them deal with that, not the US interfering in it. The power and benefits and the profit of AI are so large that you can be absolutely confident that bad people, terrorists, and rogue nations will try to cheat on any international agreement to ban superintelligent AGI and careful controls on tool AI. So unless these rules are enforced by all the top superpower countries, backed up by deadly military force, including when necessary nuclear strikes, rich billionaires and companies and terrorist groups and countries will try to cheat, endangering the survival of humanity. Nuclear weapons backing up the AI control alliance are vital. Nuclear weapons must be always kept absolutely safe from internet access, impossible for AI to access, and ready to execute prompt global strikes anywhere in the world to destroy bad actors abusing AI or any other weapon of mass destruction. And again, my book provides more details on how we can do this. But the odds of government acting strongly and competently in a worldwide alliance being effective, I have to admit that they're pretty low odds right now. We definitely should try, but I think it will take a massive campaign with worldwide civil disobedience and protests, aggressive actions by citizens to force irresponsible governments to act. This is also outlined in my book. There are some groups like Pause AI out there. The leading AI experts are saying we've got to stop doing it. But so far, our government is doing nothing to stop it. And there's no way a US and China can ally today because of the Taiwan issue that politicians are so focused on because it's popular for getting votes. So I'll kind of stop now on my slides and take questions you got on this first part of, what is the threat and how can we try to stop it?
Next question I have is, Why does it seem like the government isn't really taking this seriously when presumably government officials would also die if AGI were created?
Well, they would die, and it is in the government's interest to control AI because you're right, they die too, and they want to be in control, and you're not going to be able to control super intelligent AGI. So every government, including China, including Russia, is not going to want AI to take over, and now they're not in control. China above everyone else. They believe in government control of everything. So the incentive is there to do that, but there's more incentive in the donations that the AI companies, I mean, we're talking $1 billion that the leading AI companies just in the US are throwing around the politicians fighting AI controls. And the bigger problem is you can't do it as a single country. It's got to be an alliance, because if all I do is stop AI companies and control it in my country, they'll go elsewhere to do it. And now I'm really screwed. So you've got to have an international alliance. And that's why my book spends so much time on the need to stop interfering in Taiwan, get an agreement that China and the US can agree on to control AI and prevent it. And we've got to do it fast. I mean, if it's potentially 2 years from now, super intelligent AI is created, we don't have much time to wait on this. And again, the use of current AI to develop weapons of mass destruction, not by super intelligent AI, but by bad actors abusing AI technology, is already out there. It already exists now.
Do you see any type of positive outcome? I know I've heard from tech giants in the past where they have more of a vision that it's going to be a utopia when AGI is created. It'll solve all our problems, global warming, and everything like that. Do you see potential for that happening versus it just deciding to wipe out humanity?
Oh, of course, it has good uses. I mean, the benefits of AI are tremendous. They're very powerful and good, but at the cost of exterminating humanity, no, it's not an acceptable deal to us. You have to control AI or you should completely ban it. But it is possible to both have control of AI, but I think control of even tool AI, and I get into the details in my book, it needs to be used in facilities like we use to control nuclear weapons technology. You know, you can't enrich uranium. No company can go out there and enrich uranium or build a nuclear reactor on their own, or certainly not build a nuclear weapon. And yet a lot of these AI experts are saying that AI is far more of a threat, far worse than nuclear weapons could ever be. Yes, nuclear weapons are highly destructive, but you can control them. You cannot control AI. And AI is going to be used to make more nuclear weapons in its existing form using it. And it's going to be used to design viruses. So yes, absolutely, there's great benefits from AI, but if we don't pursue them correctly, which means strong control and oversight of tool AI and an absolute ban of super intelligent AGI, the net results are going to be horrible for humanity and potentially the end of humanity.
Like someone else submitted a question as well, Dr. Miller. Why do you think we need nuclear weapons to stop violations of AI controls and regulations?
Well, we may need to. I mean, most of the time, if there's a company somewhere they refuse warnings violating the regulations, we could go in with conventional weapons or special operations forces and destroy their plant, arrest them, punish them. But if there's an imminent threat and you've really got to take it out now, because we find out through some intelligence means that they're about to do something that could lead to super intelligence. They're about to launch a new weapon of mass destruction, and we want to be absolutely sure to destroy it. Then you do need the power of nuclear weapons delivered promptly, in 30 minutes perhaps, to blow something up. If you got that's the kind of situation. But you would never use nuclear weapons if you could destroy it through less destructive means, obviously. But the other reason you want to use nuclear weapons, besides it's maybe a military capability you need, is you've got to deter bad actors from doing it. And nuclear weapons are a great deterrent. Their destructive power is fantastic for scaring the crap out of people and stopping them from doing bad things. And again, weigh the damages. Yes, a nuclear weapon, and now we do air bursts. I won't get into the details of it. You can do air bursts to minimize the fallout, But you could use a nuclear weapon, realizing there'll be all kinds of collateral damage, innocent people killed, but if I kill 1 million people to wipe out a WMD threat that could kill hundreds of millions, billions, or in the case of super intelligent AGI, destroy every last human, then absolutely I would find nuclear weapons the less evil and which should be used. So that's why I call for them.
Well, we do want to leave some time to address the second part of this video, how to survive if super intelligent AGI does take over. So go ahead, Dr. Miller.
Sure, I'll get through my slides faster on the second part. So here we want to focus on, well, what happens if super intelligent AGI is created and it does take over? How do we survive? And it's not pleasant. It's probably not even likely, but the approach that we're following at Fortitude Ranch is what we call rural rats. And the basic idea is don't be a threat, don't be anything that AI would want, be out of their way, and not cause any harm for them. So the four things listed there are, first of all, you don't want to pose any offensive threat to AI. So if you've got military capability and AGI takes over a super intelligent AGI system, expect them to wipe that out to make sure you can't destroy their data centers or their electric sources or things like that. So for Fortitude Ranch, we're remote survival communities. We have no offensive threat. We just defend our own land. We're no offensive threat. The second thing you want to do is don't have any valuable resource that AI would want to steal. So you don't want to have, computing power or some valuable resource that AI would want. At Fortitude Ranch, we've got people, we grow food, we raise farm animals. We've got guns and weapons, but just to defend us. They're defensive weapons. Nothing that we have at Fortitude Ranch is something I would want to steal. The third thing is being in remote areas, not near the AI data centers, electric lines, any resource that AI would value, because they could see you as a threat if there's humans near something they consider a vital resource. So, and again, Fortitude Ranch, because we're already a survival community trying to avoid people, we're already in remote areas. And the fourth thing is you can't require any outside resources. You can't be taking anything from some other area, or AI could find out about you, come after you, and decide that, hey, you're taking resources we might use, therefore we're going to get rid of you. So at Fortitude Ranch, our goal is, we have farms and ranch animals, and our goal, if there's as long as the collapse goes, we'll just produce our own food. We don't import resources, fertilizers, anything. We can survive on our own. So in some, you want to hope that artificial intelligence will ignore you, just as you would ignore rural rats today. We don't go out trying to exterminate rats in rural areas. We leave them alone. But we also will defend ourselves. So if an AI system does come after us, sending drones or whatever, we would fight. We would try to destroy some of them, and make the cost higher for them. So that's more reason not to mess with us. But the honest answer is, if super intelligent AI takes over and sets as a goal, I am going to exterminate every single living human I can find, make sure they're all dead so they pose no future threat to us, then we probably won't survive at Fortitude Ranch. Probably no one would survive anywhere. I hate to be that gloomy, but that's kind of the way I see it. Another interesting problem we have in trying to control AI or survive if AI takes over is, what are people going to do if they know that superintelligence is coming? Well, there's a big risk that a lot of humanity would simply give up knowing this is about to happen. So if people can convince that we're truly doomed and we're going to be wiped out, society may just fall apart, collapse from that fear. And that's supposedly the reason why governments are hiding information, a lot of people believe, on alien visitation and alien civilizations, which polls show most Americans believe in. Supposedly governments hide the information on this because they're afraid that if people know that we've been visited, know that there are already more advanced civilizations out there in the universe that could take us over. If they believe that, then they may cease caring about the future. They may quit working. They may not care about following laws, and our society, law and order, could collapse from that fear. I think there would be a similar fear and possible collapse is super intelligent AGI is about to take over and exterminate us, and we can't fight it, we can't beat them, people could just give up. And that's kind of another threat, something that, if we have a popular movement to stop AI, then we also have to address that with that popular movement. So that's all I've got for slides on this topic, and ready to take any more questions you may have.
Okay. So you don't see any way that humans can defeat super intelligent AGI if it is created and starts killing off humanity?
No, I really don't. I mean, again, the best, my book covers that, but really the best book to cover for you to read this is If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. The arguments they make are very, very convincing. If it's smarter than us, it'll outsmart us. So there's no way that we're going to be able to defeat it. AI is already in laboratories, in biological laboratories, working on virus design and new medicines, controlling equipment, controlling robots. So it's not going to be hard for an AI system to use means we know about to exterminate humanity. And in several of these books, that's what they assume AI would do, is create a new virus or some deadly poison and release it through means they control to wipe out humanity. But more likely is just they invent a brand new poison we've never thought of. They divine some way to release some poison into the whole atmosphere around the world. There's a lot of ways they could do it, and they'll think of ways far more clever than us. They're super intelligent, smarter than us. I think there's no way you can think that we will control super intelligent AGI, and that's exactly what the heads of these AI companies are saying. Oh, don't worry, we'll figure it out, we'll control it before we get to that point. That's absurd. And again, I really encourage you to read this book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, because their arguments are very well laid out. And maybe I should cover that in a later podcast on this topic. I know we're planning on doing several. Let's just give you more details of why there's no way you're going to be able to control super intelligent AGI. It will end up controlling and abusing us most likely.
Seems like we are in some serious trouble with the threat from artificial intelligence. And honestly, the only proposal we've seen on how to hopefully stop this is the US-China AI Control Alliance that you cover in your book. We are going to cover additional issues on this problem of controlling and surviving artificial intelligence and several more podcasts that we'll be preparing over the next few weeks. So stay tuned to Collapse Survivor for preparedness news, education, and threat warnings. And if you are an AI expert who believes that AI is not a threat and does not need to have controls or bans, as other AI experts argue, we invite you to contact Collapse Survivor, and we would be glad to have you on the show and debate. Thank you. Stay safe.